Who doesn't love a good time travel flick every once in a while? They are always fun because they make you think what would happen if you went back and changed something in the past, and how it would affect you in the present. This list is going to be 8 of the best fun time travel movies in the last 20 years. There are some that didn't make the cut that are clearly time travel movies, but take themselves a little more serious than these ones. These ones are fun, shut your brain off for a little bit and enjoy movies. There will be no spoilers throughout this video, so if you decide you want to check out a movie, you can and not have the ending ruined. I will put the timestamps for every movie in the description below along with what streaming services the movies are offered on if they are. With that being said, here we go. Number 8. Hot Tub Time Machine. 2010. A bunch of dudes in their 40s, Adam Yates, Nick Weber and Lou Dorchin have been friends since they were teenagers, and even though they still have each other's phone numbers, they don't really associate with each other as much as they did when they were younger. None of their lives are really turning out how they imagined they would be. Adam can't seem to keep a girlfriend, Nick is a failing musician, and Lou is just an overgrown adolescent who never outlived his high school glory days. Lou is so down on himself that he attempts to end it, but fails, and this prompts Adam and Nick to check up on him. Adam, Nick, and Adam's nephew Jacob decide to try and lighten Lou's mood, and they take him to a ski resort they used to hit up when they were younger. When they get there, the town is dead and definitely not like it used to be, but at least their hotel room has a hot tub. The four get in the hot tub to enjoy a nice night outside with the boys when the hot tub malfunctions and sends the four back to 1986 where they were living their glory days. They look like their younger selves and seem to enjoy the nostalgic moment at first, but then they realize if they change the future too much per the butterfly effect, Jacob would never be born. The gang must work together to make sure everything happens the exact same as it did in 1986 if they want Jacob to survive the trip, but temptations may prevail. Number 7. Time Lapse. 2014. Time Lapse is about 3 friends and roommates that discover a mysterious machine in the house across the street from them, and they believe they may have been peeping on them because the lens of the camera is pointed right at their living room window. 2 of the roommates, Callie and Finn, are dating each other, and then the third wheel roommate is named Jasper. Jasper and Finn have been best friends since elementary school, so they are really close. The trio heads over to the sketchy house one day, and when they break inside, there is no one living there anymore, surprisingly, but there are hundreds of snapshots on the wall that were taken from the device of their house. They soon discover that this isn't a normal camera, as it has the capability of taking a picture once every 24 hours into the future. They start using the device to win money by horse betting and other personal gains they can get from seeing in the future. It is all fine until the friends start becoming angry with each other because dark secrets are hidden way down deep inside their friendship. Number 6. Project Almanac. 2015. Aspiring to follow in his late inventor father's footsteps, brilliant 17-year-old high school senior David Raskin finds himself with his back to the wall, unable to afford MIT's tuition fees. However, things will take an unexpected turn when David stumbles upon his genius dad's blueprints in their basement of an untested time machine, and after persistent experimentation, decides to use it for personal gain along with his friends. Everything is going swell, and the group of teenage kids are having the time of their lives and doing things they never thought was possible. David is using the time machine to convince the girl he's been crushing on forever to fall for him, and the group even skips a day of school so they can go to a music festival. Anyways, before long, the first pivotal mistake takes place by David alone, causing irreversible ripple effects by the time travels of David and his friends, doing more harm than good. More and more, the already precarious future of the young adventurers falls apart, as each trip they take only results in more disaster for everyone. Can the ambitious Project Almanac fix the team's future to save their past? Number 5. Looper. 2012. In the year 2047, time travel has yet to be invented. 30 years later, however, it has. Though immediately outlawed, time travel technology is quickly appropriated by the mob, and used to cleanly dispose of anyone deemed a threat to the future. The process is simple. When the mob wants someone to disappear, they simply send them back to the year 2047, where an assassin known as a looper quickly carries out the hit, and disposes of the body. Joe Simmons, played by Joseph Gordon-Levitt, is one of the most respected loopers in the organization. Each kill earns him a big payday, and he's got big plans to retire to France once done. Then, one day, as Joe patiently awaits the appearance of his next target near the edge of a remote cornfield, he's shocked to come face to face with his future self, played by Bruce Willis. When the younger Joe hesitates, the older Joe makes a daring escape. Now, in order to avoid the wrath of his underworld mob boss, young Joe must close the loop and kill his older counterpart. Meanwhile, The revelation that a powerful crime boss in the future has set the underworld ablaze pits the two Joes on a violent collision course, with the fate of a devoted mother and her young son hanging in the balance. Such an innovative premise for a movie, and highly recommend. Number 4. The Butterfly Effect. 2004. We all know what the butterfly effect is and how it can truly affect a situation. If a butterfly flaps its wings in China that isn't supposed to, it can cause an earthquake in California, stuff like that. Well, in this movie, a child, Evan Trayborn, was afflicted with blackouts where he would be in one place 1 minute and then another the next, remembering absolutely nothing in between. Now all grown up and in college, he decides to read from an old journal he wrote to remember stuff that might have happened in the in-between, and suddenly finds himself back at a certain point in his life throughout his childhood. He realizes that those blackouts he had were actually empty spaces of time he had to fill up later in life. Attempting to use this ability to undo unpleasant past events, Evan starts to find that every time he goes back and tries to fix things, he ends up making everything so much worse. How can he prevent more tragedies from happening and save the one girl he ever loved, Kaylee, but still not upset the balance of nature or fate? Number 3. Parallel. 2018. In Seattle, Devin is sharing an old college house with fellow app designers Noel, Lena, and Josh. One day they discover a secret part of the house hidden behind some walls, and there's a mysterious mirror that is in the room, along with a spying glass that shows every room in the house and what is going on at any point. When they investigate the mirror a little more, they discover that the mirror is a portal to a parallel universe where mostly everything is the same, but there are small differences throughout the world. The gang of app developers use the portal to get stupid rich off of lottery tickets, and they also use the parallel universe to develop their new app that has a deadline quickly approaching. Whenever they enter the parallel universe, time slows down, and for every hour they are in the parallel universe, only 5 minutes has passed by in their actual reality. When one of the roommates turns up dead, they quickly have to scramble and figure out a way to fix the mess they have caused, and if that means stealing someone from the other reality, that is what they are going to do. Definitely gets a little convoluted towards the end, but still recommend it for a fun popcorn flick. Number 2. Time Trap. 2017. Hopper is an archaeology professor that is exploring an uncharted remote cave system that he believes some of his friends disappeared around a few decades earlier. Hopper informs his student helpers what he is going to do, and if anything were to happen to him, they knew exactly where he would be. Well, a few weeks after Hopper told them about this, he still hasn't shown back up to the university, and the students become very worried. The student helpers, Taylor and Jackie, bring their friends Kara, Vives, and Furby along to go investigate what had happened to Hopper. When they get to the cave system, there is some kind of force field that separates the top from the bottom of the cave. They have Furby stay behind near the car just in case something happened to them, and the rest of the crew goes down into the cave. After being in the cave for a while exploring, they come to see that their rope they used to get down has degraded away and ripped on its own. After wondering where Furby is and why he isn't answering, the friends discover that time moves much different in the cave than it does above the cave. The force field is the separator between the two time zones, and for every 1 second that they are down in the cave, an entire year is passing in their actual reality. That is why Hopper hasn't returned, because he is still down in the cave where time flies by. The student helpers must find Hopper and then find a way to escape the cave, or there will be nothing left on Earth by the time they get out. Number 1. Time Freak. 2018. Stillman, a physics student and genius, is dropped by his girlfriend and attempts to find what caused her unhappiness and the breakup itself. Stillman and his best friend Evan look over their relationship and sort different days into happy and bad memories which may or may not have caused Debbie to break up with Stillman. In the midst of the breakup, Stillman finally figures out how to create a time machine. Stillman and Evan travel back in time to the day Stillman and Debbie first met. Stillman plans on doing things differently, and will know if the plan worked if the last text Debbie sent disappears and she doesn't break up with him. Breaking up over text is cruel, man. Evan and Stillman then travel to a movie date with Evan, Stillman, Debbie, Carly, and Ryan. They go back in time repeatedly as the situation goes wrong, and he can't seem to get Debbie to stay with him in. Finally, Stillman works the situation the way he wants, in which Debbie looks at him lovingly. But not everything will turn out exactly how he has planned. Fate isn't to be messed with, and Stillman will find out the hard way. Well, that is it for this list. Any other great fun time travel movies? Thanks for watching.